Last night was the 98th Academy Awards, which was hosted once again by Conan O'Brien. I had seen him do his first stint last year, and I thought he did an amazing job. And last night, I thought he did just as great. The first time was more appealing because, you know, the Academy Awards was something that it was a first time thing for him after being on late night for a long time. And with that said, I used to be a big time Academy Awards viewer throughout the years. And not only that, I would watch many of the movies that were nominated for Best Picture and any of the actors that were nominated as well. And over the years, it just feels like Hollywood has kind of slipped. I will see one movie a year in the theater, maybe one or two Oscar worthy films, and that's it. But back in the day, it would be like five or more. The one movie that I watched for this season was Bugonia. It happened to be on Peacock, and it really surpassed my expectations because when it first came out in movie theaters, I kind of just thought maybe this is going to be boring. Once again, Emma Stone starring in another film with Yorgos, but I really, really enjoyed it. And I almost thought she was going to win last night, Emma Stone, but she didn't. And Jesse Plemons should have been nominated. And that is very unfortunate that he wasn't. I'm not going to go into, like, was it political and all that. Seeing that Michael B. Jordan won, it's obviously a big win for an actor like Michael B. Jordan. I don't really watch his movies, but I know that he came from, like, he started out doing soap opera work. And that's always like a first stepping stone for many actors that arrive in Hollywood. I'm aware that Amanda Seyfried was once a daytime actor, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Lisa Rinna, who just came off of The Traitors. Apparently, she was in, Days of Our Lives in the 90s. I had no idea. Michael B. Jordan, I guess, started out doing soap opera work and eventually landed a role in The Wire. I know that is a well adored show, and I've tried to watch it in the past, but I just can't stick around. That doesn't mean it's bad, because I know it's well allotted. I think it's like a great win for Michael B. I just saw all these videos of him being at In and Out after the Oscars, and I just thought that was very iconic because I've been dying to try In and Out for more than a decade, and I might have a chance very soon. I'm glad that Michael B won, but I kind of feel like Jesse Plemons should have been nominated and won, in my opinion. Now, granted, I haven't seen Sinners, I haven't seen One Battle After Another, which was a film that won multiple awards last night, including Best Director for Paul Thomas Anderson, aka PTA. I have not seen his film, but it was a historic win for Paul because it was his first. And he's made many brilliant films throughout the years since the 90s, starting with Boogie Nights and then Magnolia and then, Punch Drunk Love and all these other films. But wow, it's surprising that it was his literal first win. I could have assumed that, like, he already won in the past for writing or directing, but that's great for him because I think he's a great director. But I don't know, the last few films he's put out don't seem for me. And I know people are saying, oh my God, One Battle After Another was great. There's a lot of action. You should see it. But the clips don't really call to me. I don't know. It's not appealing. So One Battle After Another won Best Picture as well. That's great for them, again, for PTA, but people say they're not into that film. And as a longtime Oscars viewer, it's kind of like, I don't want to say propaganda, but like a lot of the films that get nominated for Best Picture, they're actually not the greatest. And I've noticed that years down the road when you rewatch a film that won Best Picture, or you haven't even rewatched it the first time, since the first time. You know what I mean? When it was in a movie theater or when it was streaming on a platform. Like, that's not good. I remember seeing The Artist in 2011, and it's that silent film. It won Best Picture, and I don't care to see it again. Do you hear people talk about it to this day? No. But yeah, Best Picture, Best Director. Let's get into the actors, because I did watch the ceremony on Hulu live last night. I saw that Amy actress won for Best Supporting Actress for Weapons. I haven't seen it, but I know it was a big deal last year. I'm very into horror, but again, something about this film just doesn't call to me. I just feel like it was a lot of hype. It just depends on the average person, especially the horror viewer. I do think it's pretty cool that she won for playing, obviously a disturbed person in a horror role. I think that's cool. I had seen somewhere that besides her, it was Kathy Bates for Misery that has won an award like that, and Natalie Portman for Black Swan. And there were a couple other women in that same category. I think that's awesome for the horror genre. Who won for Best Actor? My mind's going blank. Oh, right. Michael B. Jordan. Yes, yes. I have not seen Sinners, so I can't really say anything about his performance. This movie got a lot of attention last year, but I was seeing things on TikTok and in the comments, and people are like, I didn't like Sinners, and so I'm not surprised by that. It takes, I know it's like about vampires, but it takes a certain kind of vampire horror film for me to watch, and Sinners is just not it, unfortunately. But hey, it won some awards. That's great. Then Best Actress, Jessie Buckley, is that her name? I'm very, very happy for her because she's been around for a while, and slowly in the last 5 years, she's been making a climb in Hollywood. She won for Hamnet, which you can find on Peacock at the moment. It's not really for me, but people are saying that she just had this knockout, devastating performance. The movie is supposed to be sad. I have no idea why, but I'm happy for her because she's done a few notable films that I've seen in the last few years, like Men. It's hilarious because The Bride just came out, and that movie is getting flagged, and it flopped too. 15 years ago, I would have gone to the movies to see The Bride, especially with Christian Bale starring. But there's something about that film that just doesn't look that special, and yeah, it just flopped in the box office. But meanwhile, Jessie Buckley is won for Best Actress, and it's a historic win because she's from Ireland. Who was Best Supporting Actor? Oh, right, Sean Penn for one battle after another, and this is actually his third Oscar win. His first one was in like 95. I've never seen Dead Man Walking, but I know that's the film that he was in. And the second was Mystic River, which I have seen and is pretty it could be kind of disturbing the first time you watch it, but in 2003 terms, maybe 20 years later, it might not be that deep, but it is a strong movie. And isn't it directed by Clint Eastwood? Yeah, it's some strong matter, but yeah, Sean Penn won for Best Actor for that role in Mystic River. And now he has won again, but he wasn't present at all. I don't know why. Again, I haven't seen the film. The guy just ghosted the entire thing. What else happened at the Oscars that caught my eye? Because it's hard to, when you don't see any of the movies, it's hard to gauge what is really good, what deserves to win. I know F1 won one award. Frankenstein won a few there. Let me take a look at the Best Picture nominees, because 20 years ago it used to be 5 films total, and today it is like 10, which is crazy, but who has time for that? Okay, so we have here Begonia, which I mentioned, and I thought it was pretty great. Hold on. I am not used to Apple computers. Okay. One battle after another. Bugonia. F1 was nominated. That's pretty cool. Frankenstein. Hamnet. Marty Supreme. The least appealing movie of the entire Oscar season, because I don't care for Timothy Chalamet. I know he's been dying to get an Oscar, but it's not it. Nothing about Marty Supreme makes me want to watch that film. So no surprise, it went home pretty much empty-handed. The Secret Agent, I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds like it's a foreign film. Sentimental Value, again, another movie I didn't know existed until last night, but it has Sweden roots. It has Elle Fanning and Stellan Skarsgård, who I personally like, and you might be aware of his son. He's pretty famous too. Sinners, again, not for me. Train Dreams, I'm not familiar with that. Sentimental Value is the only film I feel like I would honestly check out. And I'm just looking at everyone who has won. Michael B. Jesse, Amy Madigan, that is her name. Sean Penn, Best Writing for Sinners. Yep, I was right about that. For original screenplay, and then adapted was her PTA. Everything else was just a non-factor for me. Documentary, animation, music. The musical performances weren't special one bit. Best casting, everyone found out last night that was added to the ceremony, which is bizarre. I was like with the Golden Globes when they introduced Best Podcast, but basically most of those shows were fronted by celebrities. That happened. Best casting, no comment. Best cinematography, I remember that woman winning. Best costume, yeah, it's just very bland. Very bland. But you know what? The way it ended with Conan O'Brien and his bit, and it's like, oh, he's going to be host for life. And yeah, they make a Mr. Beast joke. Also, as I'm scrolling here, Tom Cruise won. He got an honorary award from the Academy very recently, and I'm happy for him because I'm a big fan of his movies. Many people have probably have heard me babble about Eyes Wide Shut, TikTok and YouTube, but I feel like he has a great just list of movies and performances, and I have to mention him because he was mentioned last night. Oh, and can we talk about his ex, Nicole Kidman, because it was kind of crazy. Earlier in the day, I was thrifting and I came across a copy of To Die For, the Criterion Collection edition, while I was thrifting, and got it for super cheap. Watched the movie last night. perfect quality, beautiful. I didn't even know there was a copy out for the Criterion Collection, but it makes sense because the movie turned 30 last year. It was a perfect time to watch the film in the afternoon in between the Oscars, and I showed that movie to my boyfriend, and he fairly enjoyed it, gotta say. And then I heard a thing that Nicole was going to appear at the Oscars with Ewan McGregor, who is her co-star from Moulin Rouge, and that is a movie that was my favorite movie for a long time in my childhood, and I'd watch it repeatedly. I know every song in the film. And yeah, Ewan and Nicole got together because it's the 25th anniversary. And then those two announced Best Picture, which I thought was cool. It wasn't like, Mr. Big Shot. I don't know, some big shot. I just like that it was Nicole and Ewan, like very casual, you know. Those are the moments that I can gather from the Oscars. Even though I didn't see a single film besides Begonia, I actually enjoyed the ceremony. It's kind of weird to watch with all these things going on with the Epstein files and how Hollywood, has ties to the network. Or it's hard to say because you want to be delicate, but, I have to take a second glance to certain actors in the audience, like Leonardo DiCaprio, you know? I don't know. One time, once I was, obsessed with his work. I don't know. There aren't great things about him when there are a lot of rumors about Leo. But yeah, I don't want to get into, Holly weird because I feel like, there were some movies and actors that deserve to have their moment last night. What did you think of the Oscars? 10, 15 years ago, we used to have Fashion Police, and I'd watch, Wendy Williams talk about, the red carpet and who won. Like, that was such a moment, and she would have some people give their commentary about the night and the fashion. And, Fashion Police once existed on E, and you would see that cast go over who wore what. And also, I used to watch the red carpet on E, and that in itself was, an event. And now I'm like completely tuned out. Don't care. Don't really look up to a lot of these people. But it's okay to, feel happy for certain people and their performances and their wins. That's my take on the Academy Awards. I know last year it was kind of a disaster with all these weird movies, Nora and Emilia Perez. But will it get better? Will Hollywood get better? Because I miss watching movies. That is all for today. Thank you for listening.